It is morning.
Yeah. Was Cole Strange the top player on your board there at pick number 29?
Yeah, I feel like that was a good. I think that guy fits well. Cole fits well into our team and our system, and obviously, I think he's a good player.
Next question, Alan Siegel, followed by Mike Reese.
And good morning, Bill.
Hey, Alan.
How much was Cole on your radar while he played at Chattanooga? And by all accounts, he had an exceptional week at the Senior Bowl. Is this what raised his stock and really opened your eyes in terms of making him your pick?
Yeah, again, it's a composite of work. With any player. So whatever opportunities you have to evaluate them, you evaluate them. And so Senior Bowl was part of it. It was definitely a move up competitively, but I played a couple SEC teams, and his workout was pretty good as well. He was a pretty athletic guy with good size and smart. So he does a lot of things. Has a lot of good tools to work with. He's got a long way to go, like every player does. Comes into the NFL, but look forward to working with him.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next question, Mike Reese, followed by Mark Daniels.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Good.
Good. How can you explain how the trade went down? Is that something that came up on the clock, and how much consideration was there at 21 to just stay in there and maybe taking the guy that the Chiefs came up for, McDuffie?
Yeah, there were a couple options there. We felt like it was best and made the best decision that we felt like we made the best decision we could. So that's what we did.
Next question, Mark Daniels, followed by Greg Bedard.
Hey, Bill, was Cole in consideration when you were picking at 21, and what separated him from the other guys on the board, down there at 29?
Yeah. Well, if we had stayed at 21, then we would have obviously picked somebody. And probably a good chance it would have been him. I don't know. We didn't. There were several teams that we talked to prior to when we made the trade. There were some other conversations going on there, but ultimately that's the one we chose. So I'm glad Cole was there when we picked, and as I said, feel like we made the best decision that we could at 21.
Next question, Greg Bedard, followed by Matthew Fairburn.
Hey, Bill. Obviously, you guys have an opening at guard right now, but can you tell us about your evaluation as far as Strange do you think there's a chance that center might be his best long-term position, or do you think he's just a guard for you?
Yeah, we'll see. He's played all the positions on the offensive line, so we'll see. I'm not sure.
Yeah, one quick follow-up, Bill. Did you have a belief that if you waited until your next pick, that Strange would be gone, or did you just have conviction on the player?
Yeah, he wouldn't have lasted much longer.
Thanks.
Next question, Matthew Fairburn, followed by Ian Steele.
Hi, Bill. Do you have any consideration to moving down again when you were there at 29?
There are usually options when we're on the clock. So did we have them? Maybe. I'm not sure. How far we would have. It maybe it's hard to say. We didn't really get to that point. they're again a lot of times teams call, and if you open the conversation, then they go further, and if you don't, then they don't, you know, and you make your pick. So
And what stands out about Cole as a run blocker when you watched him?
yeah, again, he's long, he's athletic. He's physically tough. He's an aggressive player. I think he has a good combination of skills, run and pass, movement, length, strength. Again, all of which will, I think, hopefully get better, like they hopefully will with any player coming from college to the National Football League. But I think he has a good, good skill set, and he's a smart player that makes a lot of good decisions on the interior line there, timing when to come off and combo blocks, things like that. So, but as always, it'll be good to work with the player, but there's a lot. He has a lot to learn and a lot to do.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Next question, Ian Steele, followed by Chris Mason.
Hey, Bill, thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, sure. Morning.
Morning to you. What makes Cole Strange a first-round talent in your evaluation?
Yeah, all the things I just talked about.
Is there anything in your evaluation leading up to the draft that really stood out to you?
Again, I think he has a good combination of skills and ability. He played well. He played well against good competition at Chattanooga, both in their conference and when they played up. And I thought he played well against the competition at the Senior Bowl. So again, he's a smart player that's played multiple positions. We'll see how it goes, but I think he can handle. Well, we'll see exactly how it turns out here, but I think he has an opportunity to, be competitive at a couple of different things, but we'll see how it goes.
Good. Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Next question, Chris Mason, followed by Andrew Callahan.
Morning, Bill.
Hey, Chris.
So I was reading a couple scouting reports, and they both pointed out that Cole Strange seems to be a really aggressive player. Is that something that stood out to you on film? And if so, how much is that a trait that you value in interior offensive linemen?
Yeah, I think you always want those guys on the line of scrimmage to be aggressive. You don't want to, the passive is probably not the adjective that we want to describe offensive and defensive linemen with. But yeah, no, I think he has a good play style, and as I said, a good skill set. Like any player's got a long way to go, a lot of things to work on, and we'll start working with him on those things. But look forward to it.
Did that seem to be something that he kind of relished or came naturally to him? Because I've seen the single bar face mask, the no gloves. It seems like he's someone that just kind of wants to get his hands dirty in there.
Yeah, I don't think the equipment and all that's that big of a factor for me, but the play style and again, offensive linemen have a chance to finish blocks, clean the pocket, help the runner downfield, things like that. Yeah, those are good qualities for an offensive lineman to have.
Thanks, Bill.
Yep, you're welcome.
And two final questions, Andrew Callahan and Mike Reese.
Hey, Bill, I just wanted to go back a little bit. I know obviously you took Logan in the first round back in 2005, but over the last 10 years, you've invested the least amount of draft capital into interior offensive linemen than any other position on the roster. What made Cole Strange, the exception to that kind of pattern of the last 10, 12 years?
Yeah, again, Andrew, every draft is different, and the way it unfolds. Obviously, it's a new set of players every year, and a new combination of position and, circumstances around you based on what other teams do. So I don't really like to compare drafts to each other because they're all unique, they're all different. Again, as I said, I feel like, we did what was best for the football team with the opportunities that we had today, and we'll try to do the same thing tomorrow and Saturday and post draft, and try to make the most of each opportunity that we have.
Is it fair to say that open vacancy from the starting lineup a year ago at guard was a major factor in selecting Cole here?
No, not really. I don't think we ever, intentionally go into the draft trying to say, well, we have to get this position or that position. Sometimes it works out that way, which it did last year and it did this year, but that it wasn't like there weren't other positions and other players that we would have considered. The board was, so the players came off the board pretty much like we thought they would, for the most part, and that's, again, felt like we made the best option that we had. We took the best option that we had, whether it was a 21 or 20, 29, whatever it ended up being, 29. At those 2 points, we felt like we, made the best choice that we could.
Thanks.
Yep, you're welcome.
And last question, Mike Reese.
Bill, as you look ahead, I think there's 10 picks you guys still have between the 2nd and 7th rounds. How would you sort of assess the opportunities for the team, and how do they sort of marry up with how you view the overall draft?
Yeah, well, I think that's, we're going to have a lot of time tomorrow to reset the board and kind of take a look at just the question you asked. And, rather than try to answer it now, really our focus was more on the first 32 picks and how we saw that shaping up and kind of what the teams, even though there was quite a bit of movement, but going into it, we tried to, have an awareness of what some of the teams around us were doing. But, there were a number of trades. There were a couple of player-for-player trades, which is kind of unusual to see. So, things, the deck kind of got shuffled a little bit there. So it's, I really, rather than, guess at an answer here, we'll go back tomorrow. We'll restack our board just like we did, a few hours ago going into the first round. We'll take a look at the projected draft order and so forth and who's around us. As you said, we have a number of picks, so we probably have some flexibility with what we could do over the next 2 days, different than what we had a few hours ago going into the draft, and try to, see what our options are. I'm sure we'll, hear from other teams or have some type of communication with other teams, and maybe that factors into what we do, or maybe it doesn't. We'll have to wait and see what that is and, how it presents itself. So the question you're asking is the same one I'm asking, and we'll get to work on that tomorrow and try to figure that out. But you're right, the number of picks and the depth in the draft that we have currently in the third, fourth, in these kind of mid rounds, we'll have to take a look at that and see, okay, what do we think we can do with that, and would we rather be in a different position than we're in, or do we like where we're at, and so forth. And maybe somebody will come to us with something to consider, one way or the other, moving up, moving down. So we'll just have to, sure, we'll know a lot more tomorrow once things get rolling, but we need to reset the board and kind of re-strategize like we did today, and then we'll do the same thing after tomorrow's draft. We'll reset the board for Saturday and and see what that looks like. So, yep, that's the plan for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you.
We'll say goodbye to Coach here, but stay on the line, guys, just for a couple announcements for the schedule for later tonight and tomorrow.